Hey everybody, welcome into Rock Painting 101. I have another video here for you today that I previously recorded over on Facebook Live. We're talking about lettering, and I know that I've done some hand lettering style tutorials where it's a little bit more fancy, and for some people that's just still not in the cards. So we're going back to basics here, and I have three very easy to follow handwriting styles that even the beginners, is that even a word? Can create. So you're going to start with your basic text and we're going to just jazz it up a little bit. So we've got this simple design here, stretching them on a basic rock with a fun background, and then how to stretch your regular lettering so that you can kind of get them a little bit wider like this. So these are back to basics. Doesn't matter what kind of skill level you're at, you can recreate these simple modifications to your writing to jazz up your kindness rocks. So as I stated in the caption above, I am just going to do a handful of You Matter rocks. I'm using my just rocks from the landscaping company. I have just a few very simple supplies. I've got a couple of paints over here, just regular acrylics, just two colors. I've got some paint brushes, and I have my 1M paint pen. Now, if you're not a big paint pen person or you don't have a lot of paint pens, you can go and buy just the black 1Ms, which are great for doing lettering on rocks. They write on top of base coated rocks, simple rocks, whatever you have. So today I just want to show you a few very, very simple methods for jazzing up basic handwriting. A lot of people get very discouraged trying to do like the script style hand lettering. And I know a lot of people also, they just think, oh, mine's not going to be pretty. I don't know. I get a lot of comments about that. When you see other people's writing, people comment, I'll never be able to write like that. Now, however, if you want to write like that, practice, practice, practice. Those people did not wake up writing that nice. But we're just going to start with some really basic lettering that anybody can do. You won't even need a whole lot of practice for these, okay? And then we're just going to do some very simple You Matter rocks that we can just hide around town. So I'm just going to write You Matter on here in very as simple of handwriting as I personally can do. And I'm going to have it take up a good amount of the rock since that's all I'm writing on here. And I grew up in the age of learning cursive, so I still put, we used to call them monkey tails on my letters. You definitely don't need to do monkey tails. This is just whatever your basic handwriting is, this is what you would be writing, okay? You matter. And these pens, as long as you're not pushing too hard, you can go in and out of those bumps like so. And I even went a little off the edge. Well, not quite off the edge. All right, so you just write on standard, exactly how you would. Now, this method kind of comes from, you know, it's a very old school way of doing it. I used to do this when I was doodling when I was younger, so you may have known this one. What you can do to jazz up this rock, this one's super simple. Just take your black and we're going to make dots at the end of each of our letters. You can add one right in the center of your O if you want to. You can put as many or, you know, just one or two on each letter, however many you want. And then we're going to let those dry, and then we're going to also add some dots around our rock. This is going to be a fast, really easy rock for kindness rocks, and we're going to add some pops of color to this because right now it's kind of boring looking, right? It's kind of simple. All right, so we're going to let those dry a little bit. And I just looked up Polly, monkey tails. Yes, that's what we grew up doing, monkey tails, right? Because you had to learn cursive. Now they don't teach cursive anymore, but I guess they teach typing. So I'm just going to add some other dots around my rock here, just like so. Just because we're going to add some color all around our rock. Now, like I said, I've got two different colors here. I'm going to use the same two colors the entire live video, just for the sake of not wasting paint. Okay, so So let's see if I can get my palette here. Enough that you can see it. There we go. All right, so I'm going to do green first. Just get a little dollop of green here. Now, I'm not even going to pull out my dotting tools. Not everybody has dotting tools. Almost everybody that paints rocks at least has paint brushes, though. So we're going to take the back side, wherever my camera is, the back side of my paintbrush right into the paint. We're going to get a little dollop of the green, and we're just going to dot inside our black dots. Now, I know there's a lot of comments going on. I will definitely read through them. But if it's there in the way for you, if you're like watching the replay, you can swipe. Somebody has told me different devices, different ways. You can swipe to the left, I believe, on iPhones. And I think it's up on Android, but somebody can correct me if they've got an Android. I'm an Apple girl myself, so I'm not have a way to verify that. So we're just gonna go around, just dotting in about half of the dots. I'm not using much rhyme or reason to which dots I'm picking. I'm just picking some dots. The biggest thing with this rock is be careful not to put your finger or your hand where you've dotted. So I kind of put my pinky on the outside of my rock to kind of hold my hand up and steady. Okay, so just like that. All right, see how it's already adding a pop of color to it. Your lettering looks a little bit more fun than it did when it was just plain Jane on there, right? So I've got the green, and we'll do a couple dots of the yellow. I'm going to speed through these a little bit today. I want to try to see how many I can get done before I have to log off to go get my little one from school. But you guys can see the point there. See how just those little dots on the tips of your letters. I mean, these would be very easy letters to replicate. And you can add dots to the ends of whatever your handwriting looks like, monkey tails or not. And I know I missed a couple of these dots. I almost feel like it needs a third color. I always get carried away with stuff like that. Okay, so super simple. I know I've missed a few dots, but I'm going to move on so we can get through a few of them. So you get the point, though. See how fast just adding those dots takes your super basic lettering that some people complain that they have, adds a pop of color. Really easy to make this rock, okay? All right. So the next one that we're going to do, where did my pen go? I'm just going to write You Matter on here again. So the next thing you can do, write it on there just like normal, okay? And once you've got it on there, we're going to go through here and I'm going to show you how you can almost give yourself bubble letters or box style letters without overthinking it too much. So you start, any of your downward strokes basically is what we're going to thicken, kind of like when you're doing hand lettering. I know I say that a lot with hand lettering, but instead of actually making them thicker, we're going to pop them to the side. And so based on which side has more space, and you'll see when we get to some of these, that's where you're going to pop it to the side. So here on the Y, we're going to go a little to the left on our downward stroke, and then when it goes across, we're going to line back up. Same here on this side of the Y, we're going to go out to the side because this is a downward stroke when you're writing a Y, correct? And then we're going to go to the side, and then we're going to meet up with it there. Now you can just even things out once you start to look at things, add a little bit on that side too if you want to. Now with our O, you can bring it on the inside to create it. If you think it's going to be too scrunched, you can take it out to the outside to create it. You see that? So here on the U, if we go to the left, we'd bump into our O, so we're going to go to the right. And then we can go to the right here, and then we can add more of our tail if we really like our monkey tails, which I do. Now the M, see how, remember I said I kind of smushed it that way, so we'll pop that to the left. Okay, and then we can do an arch here, and an arch here. Okay, our A, we want it on the inside because we'd run into it if we go on the outside. So like so. Just like that. And then our T. Add those on there. And now see our E, we would run into our T. So we're going to pull it to to the inside, which kind of makes it look small, but then once you get the other side on there, it'll be just fine. Then our R, there we go. So just like that, now you have your 3D letters. Now, if you don't, like if you have paint pens, this is really super easy to color in. If you're using a hand and a brush, you can still do it. Paint in your letters. You can touch back up with your pen once you're done. So fill in the letters, you know, do your best to stay in the lines, but if you get some on the black, it's okay because you can go back over it when it's dry with your black and kind of touch things up, all right? So you can just easily come in and add in your paint, and don't worry too much about if you accidentally go over that black because you're going to be able to touch it up. So I'll do a few letters here. And my rock is like really far from my face. So this is a little bit tricky. I'm trying to keep it under the camera here. There we go. But see, I'm not too worried about this because I can clean that up, okay? We'll do the right side of the letters maybe with green, and then we'll do the other side with yellow. Okay? And then you can add the same sort of things around the outside of this. Like I did polka dots on this. You can do, you know, a line underneath it, the flips. There's a few different things you could do, but let me finish coloring these in first. I can't get myself too sidetracked. I grabbed the wrong brush. There we go. All right, so it's just that easy to get these into 3D letters. My brush was really wet. I just got my paint really wet. You want to go in with full force paint here when you're going right on your rock, so that your color shows up. And I like to start in the center of my space and pull towards the tip so you can kind of lift away when you're filling it in as well. So like you want to start where it's thickest and kind of pull towards the point. All right, so see, so just like that, we could continue. Oh, I didn't to the bottom of the Y. Continue to fill these in. On the bottom the same way, okay? So you can take your really basic writing and give it this, you know, 3D look. All right, I think I have time to do one more. This rock is kind of a funny shape to try to get it flat for you guys to see. All right, now this style of writing is one that I actually use a lot. You've probably seen me do this one a lot, and it's like a really fat top letter and a short bottom letter, or if that makes sense. It's almost like if you were learning how to write, if your lines were like this and your dotted line is like way down here like this, if that makes sense. So you're big like that kind of look to it. And a lot of people, this is a very kind of popular style, and it just gives it a kind of a fun look. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one for you here real quick. See if I can fit that on here. I don't really have a very good flat surface on this one. Let me see if I can find something else. I guess we can pull out, here, find one that I poured on that needs something on top. So this one, I'm not going to be able to color in or anything, but it's something a lot of people, we've done a lot of pour painting and things like that on here. This is a style of handwriting that if you do poured rocks, will kind of give them a nice look. Okay, so I'm going to go right on the top of this one. So you do really tall on the top part of whatever your letter is. So, and then a small little bottom. So, and then they're kind of a little bit skinny. I've got a couple little bumps in this rock. So it's funny because the phrase that I'm using doesn't really show off this style probably the best. It's, Usually you have a lot more letters where you can see that you're doing that. But that's okay, this will work. So this is definitely a way that you can jazz up any of your rocks as having a cool background, right? And we've done a lot of pour painting. We did that swipe just the other day too, the R. So the R, you come way down low and then kick it to the side. There you go, you matter. So, and then you can add, I mean, jazz all around these things, you know? Really simple stuff. It doesn't take a lot to make very easy, simple kindness rocks. I mean, that's what the Kindness Rock project kind of started a lot of this. A lot of people started doing the rocks because of that. And I know a lot of people make really intricate and very fun rocks. I like to make fun rocks, but getting these rocks out into the world are just as important, and you can make yourself beautiful masterpieces. So whether you have a very simple font, but you do something interesting on the back, we've done pour painted rocks, swipe painting rocks, all sorts of different ways that you can kind of make your background fun, and then you can stick with a very simple font, or you can start with your writing and use one of these techniques to kind of take it just up a little level so that you can be excited to put them out. So I hope that this helped a few people out there that tend to leave those comments, oh, your rocks always look so nice. I feel the same way about the beautiful script lettering on rocks. I personally have worked on it. I have gotten better. And if you want to be able to do those rocks, you can do that too. Just practice, practice, practice. But these are quick solutions that I hope help at least a few of you. So have a great day. Bye-bye.